stop at the stop sign, jackass. Judas Priest. Poop. Let's get ahead of this Lexus real quick. I forgot about this. Oh, okay, I'm in the right lane. Feel it in my shoulder just now. Thinking about this the other day. I wish that there was like a movie that showed I think, don't quote me on this, that the Terminator and unfortunately Terminator 2, but especially the first one, Terminator 1, is like a closed loop time travel. Like, there was never a John Connor without Kyle Reese going back, back to the past, impregnating Sarah Connor, all that stuff. There was never any John Connor where You know, his mom met a random guy, had him, and he just happened to survive the Judgment Day, and you know, became what he was. It was always, you know, closed loop. Kyle Reese goes back to the past because he always does, in order for John Connor to be born, etc. But I would have liked to have seen something, you know, some kind of something take place, like between when he's talking, you know, when he's talking about how him and his mom used to run guns, you know, so she could learn how to, you know, learn tactics, learn whatever, you know, get geared up, you know, all that stuff. I would, I don't know, I just, some of that stuff is just as interesting to me as what happened in the movies. And I mean, you know, we saw a little bit of that in Terminator 2 with Enrique and the, you know, underground, you know, gun stash and all that, you know. But I don't know. I just think it would be interesting to see, you know, John Connor living. And I mean, I know we got sort of some of that in the Sarah Connor Chronicles. It wasn't terrible, but I mean, the fact that it ends on the cliffhanger that it did is disappointing, but it actually kind of starts to make sense, where the reason there's no record of John Connor is because him and his mom were living off the grid until whenever, and then he literally went to the future and started, you know, he didn't start the resistance, he joined it, and, you know, with his knowledge and everything, I guess he would have been able to take command, or not, maybe, you know, I don't know, just saying, you know, it makes sense in the greater narrative the way it ended, you know, I still would have liked to see it. And I mean, you know, it did do a little bit of Terminator of the Week stuff, you know, but I mean, it was on network TV in the mid to late 2000s. I mean, you know, for what we got, it was good. And it had, you know, good moments, even if, you know, some of the moments weren't great. It was at least something. I did, like, looking back, I didn't like Terminator 3 when it came out. Like, it bounced off me like a rubber ball. Then, God, what was next? Salvation. I watched that when it first came out, and it was, again, disappointing, because it's like some of the stuff that I've seen that they cut out was more interesting than the stuff they left in. So I mean, you know, what's crap? And then what was it? Was it Genesis, or was it? God, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, the Terminator movies are a freaking mess. That's why I personally, growing up, Terminator 2 was the shiz. You know, it was like such a great, awesome action movie, all that stuff. But the first one is so pure. It is almost a perfect movie. Like, I personally can't find any fault in it. You know, I mean, I do think that the stuff that was cut out, you know, with him saying that he was never supposed to be here, he was never supposed to see the world before, you know, that he couldn't handle it. That was actually really nice. I don't know why he cut it out. Whatever, it's his movie. But anyway, you know, I think I have no faults with it aside from that. Now, there are very few perfect movies. I would definitely consider Terminator 1, though. I don't think Terminator 2 was necessary, if I'm honest. I mean, he had to retcon the entire first movie by making the second, and it seems like the second was just like a remake of the first, if you actually take a look back. I mean, I don't know. I just think the first one is a better movie. It is tight. It is, you know, some of the effects were a little sketchy. So what? You know, special effects don't make a movie. I mean, case in point, Avatar. Has anybody seen the second one? I haven't. I saw the first one, and it was kind of embarrassing. So, I mean, effects aren't story. Effects aren't characterization. It doesn't matter how great a movie is to look at if there's nothing behind it. Anyway, I didn't mean to stand on that soapbox. I'm just saying, you know. Back on, y'all. I don't know. I think it's going to rain, personally. I actually really enjoyed it. It was cool. It was almost, you know, are you coming? Judas Priest, come on. Freaking dummy. I actually thought it was really neat. It was almost like a, you know, having to fight against it because her weapons couldn't kill it. I just thought it was really neat. I wasn't necessarily crazy about the safety, you know, apnea and diabetes. He just didn't want to do Twilight, which kind of sucks, you know, like an IV sort of thing. So I'm just going to have 2 Ativan and some laughing gas. And I'm absolutely freaking terrified. I'm scared of hurting so bad. I'm such a coward. I just hate hurting. And I had the first really bad toothache, really, with these wisdom teeth last weekend.